I know that what I'm about to say is going to make me sound a little cynical, but you're going to have to hear me out because I don't think I'm wrong about this one, and I think it needs to be nuanced. Now, the subject here is marriage, and it particularly applies to people who want to get married really bad. Now, you need to take this from a guy who got married at age 39 and did not date anybody prior to that time. And, well, there's a whole big old story to that. But I think what is important to discuss right now at this moment is the sense of desperation I oftentimes hear in the voices of young men and young women that want to do nothing but just get married. And sometimes they want to get married so bad that they're willing to turn off their discernment, they're willing to turn off their judgment, and they are certainly willing to turn off their patience in waiting on the Lord in order to jump into a relationship because they think time is running out. Now, here's the problem, and this goes right back to what I tell couples in premarital counseling, and it's this: prepare to die, right? You want to get married, prepare to die. That is true. You need to prepare to die to self. Why? Because the Bible tells us very clearly that the marriage relationship, yes, as it is a call from God, is also one that will actually be destroyed if there is not a lifestyle of self-denial going on. Now, the problem is we live in a society today that minimizes marriage, and because they minimize marriage and the value of marriage, divorce comes out very easily. It's not uncommon to hear about somebody who is probably in their 30s and has been married and divorced 2 or 3 times. It is not uncommon to talk to children who have seen 3 or 4 different official fathers or mothers coming into the house. This happens a lot, and it is the very reason why society is breaking down the way it is, because we have cheapened the institution of marriage. And don't even let me get started in how the institution of marriage has been cheapened simply through the type of garbage that we're seeing expressed in gay marriage and so on and so forth. Those things are also attacking marriage and the family. It's evil, it's wicked, and it should not be so. Yes, I said it. Heterosexual marriage is the only way to define real marriage according to God's word. Now, with all of that said, we have to talk about what Jesus says about marriage. We have to talk about what Jesus says about divorce. And he has a lot of things to say about it all, and it should be very sobering. If you are in a relationship or you are thinking about engaging in a relationship where you are headed towards marriage, and you should not be in a relationship unless the purpose is to head towards marriage, you really need to think twice about what Jesus happens to say, because it is sobering, it is eye-opening, and it is undoubtedly something that you need to hear, I need to hear, and we all need to take to heart, because when you get married, folks, in God's eyes, that's permanent. That's a bond that can only be broken by death. And folks, understand this: God doesn't minimize it, and neither should we. Today, we're going to talk about that. If you are watching this on Sunday when the video is released, we are going to talk about the subject of marriage and what Jesus happens to say about it. You definitely are going to want to hear this. It is critically important. Let's get into it. God bless you guys.